Hold up, because what you're about to hear has the internet on fire right now. Fans are shocked, timelines are split, and the hip-hop streets are buzzing after Jaguar Wright dropped yet another bombshell that has everybody asking the same question. Was Uncle Bilaal telling the truth this whole time? According to viral chatter, leaked court whispers, and alleged lawsuit details now floating around online, Jaguar is claiming that what once sounded like wild conspiracy might actually connect to something way darker than anyone imagined. And at the center of it all? Will and Jada, Hollywood royalty, now being dragged into a storm of accusations, denials, and you said what, moments that nobody saw coming. Emotions ran high as clips began circulating, fans replaying interviews frame by frame, trying to connect dots that may or may not even belong together. Social media detectives are working overtime, and suddenly old statements, old friendships, and old fallouts are being viewed in a completely new light. Jaguar's tone? Calm but chilling. Uncle Bilaal's past claims? Resurfacing with a vengeance. And the alleged lawsuit? People are saying it exposes everything, but does it really? What's fact, what's cap, and what happens when rumors collide with real reputations? Stay locked in, because this story takes turns you won't expect, and by the end, you might be questioning everything you thought you knew. The story really started bubbling when Jaguar Wright went live late one night, her voice steady but her energy heavy, like she had been holding something in for years and finally decided the world was ready to hear it. She leaned into the camera and said this was not gossip, not clout chasing, but a fictionalized retelling inspired by rumors, industry whispers, and her own alleged experiences. Still, fans are shocked because the names sounded too familiar, and the timing felt way too convenient. According to Jaguar, people laughed when Uncle Bilaal first spoke out years ago, calling him bitter, unhinged, or jealous. But now, with a mysterious lawsuit allegedly floating through industry circles, Jaguar claims the narrative is shifting, and suddenly the jokes are gone. She explained that when Uncle Bilaal first made his claims, the phones went silent. Friends stopped calling. Family members distanced themselves. Jaguar said she remembers sitting in a room with him while he scrolled through social media, watching memes and jokes about himself go viral. He allegedly looked at her and said, "They will laugh now, but one day they will be forced to listen." That line alone sent chills through fans, because Jaguar claimed that day might finally be here. According to her story, the lawsuit did not appear out of nowhere. She claimed it was the result of years of pressure, NDA threats, and quiet settlements that never quite sealed the cracks. Jaguar alleged that insiders had been whispering about a private community, not exactly secret but not public either, where power, influence, and personal boundaries allegedly blurred. She stopped herself mid-sentence and said this was all alleged, based on stories she had heard, not proven facts. Still, emotions ran high as viewers flooded the comments, demanding names, details, and receipts. Jaguar then pivoted to Will and Jada, describing them not as villains, but as powerful figures in a system that chews people up and spits them out. She claimed that fame changes the rules, and when you reach a certain level, your personal life becomes a brand protected at all costs. According to Jaguar, Uncle Bilaal once warned her that speaking too loudly about powerful couples was dangerous. She recalled him saying, "They do not need to destroy you publicly, they just need to make sure nobody believes you." Fans were divided instantly. Some accused Jaguar of chasing attention, recycling old rumors to stay relevant. Others felt something darker was being hinted at. One fan comment she read out loud said, "Every time these stories come up, they sound crazy, but somehow they never fully go away." Jaguar nodded and said exactly, because unresolved truths have a way of haunting people. She then shared a dramatized conversation she claimed happened years ago at a private gathering. In this retelling, Uncle Bilaal allegedly confronted someone close to Will and Jada, asking why certain people suddenly vanished from their social circle. Jaguar said the room went silent, glasses paused mid-air, and someone quickly changed the subject. She described the tension as thick, like everyone knew something but nobody wanted to say it out loud. According to her, that moment confirmed for Uncle Bilaal that he had crossed an invisible line. The lawsuit, Jaguar claimed, allegedly reopened old wounds. She said it was not about money, but about exposure. According to her sources, the filings supposedly included testimonies from people who once benefited from proximity to fame but later felt discarded. Jaguar emphasized again that this was a narrative based on rumors and alleged documents, not verified facts. Still, she leaned closer to the camera and said, "If even half of this is true, the culture needs to have a serious conversation." She described how fans reacted when the news started circulating. Group chats exploded. Reaction channels posted videos within minutes. Timelines filled with side-by-side clips of old interviews, frozen frames, and captions saying maybe we should have listened. Emotions ran high as people argued over whether Jaguar was brave or reckless. Some said she was finally saying what others were too scared to say. Others warned her to be careful, hinting that history shows what happens to whistleblowers in entertainment. Jaguar also spoke about her own fear. She admitted that telling this story came with anxiety, sleepless nights, and family tension. She claimed some relatives begged her to stay quiet, saying she was reopening doors better left closed. According to Jaguar, one family member told her, "You are poking a sleeping giant." She responded by saying the giant had already been awake for years, watching, waiting. As the live continued, Jaguar played a clip of Uncle Bilaal from years back, where he cryptically mentioned circles within circles and loyalty tests. At the time, people dismissed it as rambling. Hearing it now, with Jaguar's added context, made fans uneasy. The chat slowed down, replaced by long pauses and eye emojis. Jaguar said that clip alone made her rethink everything she once brushed off as exaggeration. She ended this part of her story with a warning, not just to viewers but to herself. She said truth in this industry is rarely clean, rarely simple, and often buried under layers of money and image control. She claimed the lawsuit was only the beginning, a crack in a wall that had been standing for decades. As she signed off, she said, "If Uncle Bilaal was right, then this is bigger than one couple, bigger than one family, and the fallout is going to be messy." And just when viewers thought the live was over, Jaguar paused, looked straight into the camera, and said there was one detail she had not shared yet, something that allegedly tied her personally to the lawsuit, and explained why she could not stay silent anymore. The screen froze, the stream ended, and fans were left staring at their phones, waiting for what would come next. When Jaguar returned the next day, the tension was even heavier. Fans were already calling it a cliffhanger masterclass, and reaction channels had spent the entire night dissecting her last sentence. She opened by saying she barely slept, not because she was scared, but because memories she had buried for years came rushing back. According to her, the details she held back had nothing to do with gossip blogs and everything to do with how deep the connections allegedly went. She reminded viewers again that this was a dramatized retelling based on rumors and personal interpretation, not confirmed facts, but that did not stop the chat from moving at lightning speed. Jaguar claimed that years ago, she herself was invited into spaces that felt exclusive, glamorous, and empowering on the surface. She described rooms filled with laughter, influential faces, and conversations that made you feel chosen. But she alleged that over time, the energy shifted. She said the vibe went from creative freedom to unspoken expectations. Nobody ever said anything directly, she claimed, but silence itself became a language. Fans were shocked when she said Uncle Bilaal had warned her about those spaces before she ever stepped into them. She reenacted a conversation she said happened over the phone late one night. In her retelling, Uncle Bilaal allegedly told her, "Once you walk in, they watch how far you are willing to go." Jaguar said she laughed it off back then, assuming he was projecting his own issues. But now, with the lawsuit rumors circulating, that warning hit different. Emotions ran high as she admitted regret for not listening sooner. According to Jaguar, the lawsuit allegedly includes accounts from people who felt manipulated by power dynamics rather than forced by any single individual. She was careful with her words, repeating that these were allegations and interpretations, not legal conclusions. Still, she said the pattern was unsettling. She described people being celebrated one moment, then quietly iced out the next. No explanations, no goodbyes, just a sudden erasure from invitations, calls, and opportunities. She then shifted focus back to Will and Jada, not accusing them directly of orchestrating anything, but painting them as symbolic of a larger system. Jaguar claimed their brand represented enlightenment, openness, and breaking taboos, which allegedly made people lower their guard. She said fans often confuse transparency with safety. That line alone sparked debate in the chat, with some calling it profound and others calling it manipulative framing. Jaguar described how friends reacted when she started asking questions. She said some laughed nervously, others warned her to chill, and a few went completely silent. One friend allegedly told her, "You do not understand the level you are dealing with." That sentence stayed with her, she said, because it implied a hierarchy where accountability did not apply equally. Fans were split, with some saying this was classic industry paranoia, while others said it mirrored stories they had heard for years. She also addressed critics who accused her of exploiting trauma for views. Jaguar became visibly emotional, saying nobody wins when stories like this surface. She said she lost friendships, opportunities, and peace by even hinting at these narratives. She described family dinners turning tense, with relatives asking why she could not just focus on music or healing. According to Jaguar, her response was always the same, because silence protects the wrong people. The conversation then turned back to Uncle Bilaal. Jaguar said he reached out to her after the first live, not angry, but tired. She quoted him allegedly saying, "I never wanted to be right like this." That line resonated deeply with fans, because it humanized someone many had written off as unstable. Jaguar claimed Uncle Bilaal felt vindicated but not victorious, because the cost of speaking had been isolation and ridicule. She revealed that, according to her understanding, the lawsuit might force certain sealed conversations into the open. Not necessarily explicit details, but enough context to raise uncomfortable questions. She stressed again that this was speculation, not confirmed information. Still, she said the fear among insiders was real. Phones ringing off the hook, people checking with lawyers, and sudden statements about privacy and misinformation popping up online. Jaguar described the fan reaction as chaotic. Some organized threads calling for accountability. Others organized threads calling for respect and boundaries. The family was left divided in the court of public opinion, even though no court verdict existed. She said this proved how powerful narratives are, even when built on fragments and rumors. She warned viewers to stay critical, not cruel. Toward the end of the live, Jaguar shared a moment that made the chat go quiet. She said she once asked herself why stories like this always seem unbelievable until they are not. Her answer was simple, because power teaches people what sounds impossible. She claimed the entertainment industry thrives on extremes, and when truth finally leaks, it rarely looks neat or heroic. She ended by saying part of the reason she spoke out was to remind people that idols are human, systems are flawed, and silence has consequences. She did not claim to have all the answers. Instead, she said the next phase of this story would involve others stepping forward, either to deny, confirm, or complicate everything. As she logged off, fans noticed her hands shaking slightly, a detail that reaction channels replayed over and over. And just as the internet tried to process her words, a new rumor began circulating, suggesting that someone else from that inner circle was considering speaking publicly. A name was whispered but not confirmed, and Jaguar's final message echoed through the comments, "This is far from over, and the next voice might change everything." Right when everyone thought they had processed Jaguar Wright's bombshells, the story took another dramatic turn. The chat was still flooded with speculation when she posted a short video clip on her story, this time hinting that the lawsuit might not just involve rumors, but concrete events she claimed had been hushed for years. She leaned into the camera, her tone quieter but sharper, saying, "Sometimes people confuse loyalty with fear, and that's exactly what has kept this hidden." Fans immediately replayed that line, some tagging friends, some theorizing that this was the confirmation they had been waiting for. Emotions ran high because it implied that the alleged secrecy had been orchestrated at multiple levels. According to Jaguar, the alleged culture she was talking about was built on charisma, influence, and manipulation rather than overt coercion. She said she had witnessed how people would be slowly tested, with favors offered, boundaries nudged, and then removed without explanation. She claimed that Uncle Bilaal had seen it firsthand and had tried to warn others, but his voice was drowned out by power, money, and the allure of proximity. Fans were shocked by her analogy, saying it sounded like a social experiment gone horribly wrong, and some commented that she was brave for even bringing it up. She then shifted to describing alleged conversations between Will and Jada and people who were supposedly under scrutiny. Jaguar claimed she had heard recordings years ago that hinted at unusual rituals of loyalty, allegedly private gatherings where personal limits were discussed and tested, framed as freedom but with undertones of influence. She carefully prefaced that she was only repeating what she had been told, not accusing anyone, but even the phrasing made the chat explode. Fans debated whether this sounded like cult behavior or simply exaggerated speculation, but the intensity of her delivery made the story feel more real than most tabloid rumors. Jaguar reenacted a dialogue that she claimed took place between her and an anonymous insider, someone who had allegedly left the inner circle years prior. In her retelling, the insider said, "You don't understand, it's not about what you see. It's about what they control quietly." Jaguar said her stomach had dropped when she heard it, and she remembered feeling a mix of fear and validation, fear for what might be happening, and validation that Uncle Bilaal had been right all along. Fans reacted instantly, some expressing disbelief, others saying they had suspected something similar for years but were never able to put it into words. The story then shifted to the alleged lawsuit, which Jaguar claimed had already sent shockwaves through legal circles. According to her, the filing supposedly included testimonies, messages, and even screenshots of conversations that had been dismissed or ignored before. She said she was not a lawyer, but from what she understood, the lawsuit could force previously sealed documents into public view. This, she explained, might finally answer the questions that fans and insiders had been whispering about for years. The chat went wild as viewers speculated about what exactly could be revealed, some predicting career-altering consequences for those involved. Jaguar's narrative then turned personal again. She said that seeing her own friends and colleagues removed or suddenly distant over the years had been traumatizing. She claimed it was subtle, almost invisible to outsiders, but devastating to the people who lived it. She recounted a scene where she allegedly confronted someone about why they had suddenly cut ties, only to be told, "We didn't make a choice, we were just told." She said the words haunted her because they illustrated how power could manipulate loyalty without overt force. Fans commented that this sounded like something out of a psychological thriller, and the reactions ranged from shock to anger. She also brought up social media fallout, describing how threads about her revelations exploded. Memes, reaction videos, and conspiracy theories spread like wildfire. Some fans expressed empathy, saying they now saw the truth behind jokes they once laughed at. Others questioned her credibility, accusing her of dramatizing stories for clout. Jaguar responded to these critics during her stream, saying that exposing even alleged truths often comes at the cost of reputation, safety, and friendships. The family was left divided in public opinion, and she claimed this mirrored what she had seen behind closed doors for years. As the live continued, Jaguar hinted at multiple twists yet to be revealed. She said that the lawsuit might only be the tip of the iceberg, and more voices could emerge, either corroborating or contradicting the narratives. She described how insiders were allegedly preparing statements, some supportive, some defensive, and some quietly retracting previous comments. Fans speculated about who these individuals could be, creating a frenzy across social media. Emotions ran high, with long threads analyzing every past interview, every old clip, and every cryptic comment. Jaguar also addressed the personal cost of speaking out. She said she had lost friends, felt the sting of family disappointment, and even questioned her own judgment. She reenacted a conversation with a relative, who allegedly told her, "Why do you want to dig up pain that does not belong to you?" Jaguar claimed her response was, "Because silence only protects those who do wrong." Fans were visibly affected, many leaving supportive comments expressing that her courage inspired them. Toward the end of her stream, Jaguar shared an alleged encounter with someone very close to Will and Jada, someone who supposedly provided insight into the inner workings of the circle. She described the person as anxious, looking over their shoulder, hesitant to speak, but ultimately wanting to be heard. The insider allegedly said, "People think it's freedom, but it's always guided." Jaguar paused, looking down for a moment, then back into the camera, emphasizing how this statement tied everything she had been suggesting together. The chat went silent, then erupted with speculation, theory crafting, and disbelief. She ended the session by saying the next phase of revelations could be explosive. She hinted that documents, recordings, and first-hand accounts could surface, each with the potential to shift public perception. Fans flooded the comments, asking her to confirm names, dates, and events, but she remained careful, repeating multiple times that much of this was based on rumor, alleged events, and personal interpretations. She warned that jumping to conclusions could be dangerous, yet the tension was palpable. As she signed off, Jaguar left viewers with a chilling line, saying, "If Uncle Bilaal was right, and the lawsuit is just the beginning, then what you think you know about fame, loyalty, and control might be the smallest part of the story." Fans immediately began creating theories, debating legality, and revisiting old interviews frame by frame. The family, insiders, and the online community were all being pulled into a narrative that blurred lines between rumor, drama, and potential revelation. It was clear that the storm was far from over, and the next act promised to be even messier. As the weeks went on, Jaguar Wright's revelations seemed to gain momentum. Clips of her previous streams circulated endlessly, each replay prompting new comments, theories, and debates. She returned to explain that what made the alleged lawsuit so pivotal was not just the names involved, but the network it allegedly exposed, a web of relationships, favors, and unspoken agreements that many assumed were private. Fans were shocked when she said, "It's not just a story about one couple, it's about a system that thrives on silence." Her tone was calm, but the weight of what she suggested hung in the air like a storm about to break. Jaguar claimed that she had spoken to multiple insiders who described the alleged inner circle as simultaneously magnetic and intimidating. People were drawn in by the promise of opportunities, connections, and acceptance, she explained, but over time, boundaries were tested. She said the alleged culture involved subtle coercion, encouragement to participate in rituals framed as empowerment, yet underlined by expectations of loyalty and discretion. She reminded viewers that these were allegations, but the chat erupted as fans tried to piece together timelines, personalities, and interactions. She detailed how emotions ran high in some of the alleged confrontations. According to Jaguar, some people had tried to speak out years ago, only to be silenced through quiet pressure, social shaming, or sudden removal from the scene. She reenacted a dialogue she claimed had occurred between a former insider and a mutual acquaintance, where the insider whispered, "They don't need to touch you to control you, they just need everyone else to believe in their version." Jaguar said she shivered when she heard it, realizing that the dynamics she had laughed off in her youth might have been more dangerous than she had imagined. Fans responded with shock and anger, some calling the behavior manipulative, others calling it criminal. Jaguar then revisited Uncle Bilaal's warnings. She claimed that he had repeatedly told her, years before any mainstream attention, that certain truths were uncomfortable but necessary to acknowledge. She shared an alleged private moment where he looked her in the eye and said, "People will call it fantasy, but you'll see the patterns one day." She said that pattern was now surfacing in court filings and alleged testimonies tied to the lawsuit. Fans were left debating whether the timing was coincidence or inevitability, and reactions flooded social media, dividing everyone into camps of belief and skepticism. She also described the personal fallout she experienced as she explored these stories. Friends she had once trusted became distant, opportunities she thought were secure vanished, and she said she felt the weight of public scrutiny like a tangible presence. She reenacted an alleged phone call with a former collaborator, who told her, "Why are you digging into things that could ruin everything for you?" Jaguar's response, she said, was simple, "Because the truth matters more than comfort." Fans commented that her courage in standing up for alleged truths was inspiring, but the tension in her voice suggested it had come at a steep cost. According to Jaguar, the lawsuit might also reveal details about the alleged inner circle's rules, boundaries, and expectations. She claimed insiders had described scenarios where consent, freedom, and influence became blurred, leaving participants unsure of how much agency they really had. Fans were shocked at the implications, debating whether the described behavior crossed ethical or legal lines. Jaguar emphasized that she was repeating what she had been told and witnessed, not presenting verified evidence, but that did not stop speculation from spreading like wildfire. She recounted an alleged moment where she spoke directly with someone formerly close to Will and Jada, someone who had reportedly distanced themselves after witnessing events firsthand. In her retelling, the person said, "You have to understand, the surface is one story, but the foundation is another." Jaguar paused, letting the comment hang, before explaining that it aligned with Uncle Bilaal's original warnings. Fans immediately began theorizing which events were being referenced and what this could mean for public perception. Emotions ran high, with debates about morality, loyalty, and accountability dominating comment sections. As the stream progressed, Jaguar shared how she felt vindicated but also burdened. She said seeing the lawsuit potentially bringing hidden events to light confirmed some of the fears Uncle Bilaal had voiced, but it also reminded her that truth often comes with consequences. She reenacted a private conversation with a family member, who allegedly warned, "People are not ready for what you are about to release." Jaguar admitted that even now, she did not know the full fallout, but she felt compelled to continue speaking, because silence had never solved anything. Fans reacted with a mix of admiration, fear, and skepticism, many tagging each other to emphasize the importance of the alleged revelations. Toward the end, Jaguar described the alleged network in broader terms, painting it as a culture that prized appearances, reputation, and loyalty over transparency. She said that even casual participation could implicate someone in ways they did not anticipate, and that the lawsuit might expose patterns rather than individual acts. Fans were shocked at the nuance, some saying it explained inconsistencies they had noticed in past interviews and social media posts. She emphasized again that this was a dramatized retelling, but the level of detail made it feel tangible and real. She then hinted at more voices preparing to come forward. According to Jaguar, insiders had been quietly coordinating statements, each potentially shifting public perception. She did not reveal names, but the promise of new revelations sent the chat into overdrive. Emotions ran high, with viewers expressing excitement, fear, and anticipation in equal measure. Jaguar said that when these voices surfaced, people would have to confront uncomfortable truths about fame, influence, and loyalty in ways they had never imagined. Finally, Jaguar concluded her main narrative by reflecting on the personal toll and the public stakes. She said that navigating alleged secrets, rumors, and lawsuits had been exhausting but necessary. She described a moment of quiet reflection where she considered walking away entirely, only to realize that leaving silence in place would have meant betraying her own sense of integrity. She ended her live by saying, "If Uncle Bilaal was right, if the lawsuit exposes even half of what is being whispered, then the world is about to see how deep the roots of influence and loyalty really go." Fans were left reeling, the family divided, and social media buzzing with questions, theories, and anticipation for what might come next. Alright fam, now that you've heard Jaguar Wright's shocking claims, the alleged lawsuits, and all the drama swirling around Will and Jada, we want to hear what you think. Do you believe Uncle Bilaal was right all along, or is this just another wild internet rumor blowing up? The family is divided, the fans are shocked, and the story is far from over, so your opinion matters. Drop your thoughts in the comments, tag your friends, and let's get this conversation going. If you want to stay on top of every twist, turn, and leaked detail, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because trust me, you do not want to miss the next part of this story. We're just getting started, and things are about to get even messy, eh? Now it's your turn, what's your take?